Welcome back to Dudes versus Everything. I am your host, Rudy Robles, and this is my beautiful co-host.
Hey, Jesus Perez.
And today we are going to be talking about some very zesty topics. We're going to be talking about some space mommies, some
Space mommies.
chaotic love, and Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good one. I have some opinions on some of these topics that we're gonna be talking about today.
The chaotic love is going to be coming in with a variety of questions that are bound to be controversial in any way you look at them. That the point of these questions is to, ask what Jesus and Rudy have to say about these certain topics. And I'm sure you listeners are going to feel a certain way of our own opinions, and then probably have your own opinions of these certain questions. But it's going to be a nice, fun episode. So stay tuned, stick along, and hope you're ready to piss your pants.
By the way, I just want to kick it off and just at least start it off. What you smoking
Oh, what am I smoking?
or drinking?
I'm both, actually. So starting today, not starting today. I sounds like a fucking drug addict. No, today I got it's called Tropicana from CBX, or that's what what do you call it? When you shorten a word, abbreviated. The actual name is Cannabiotics, but of the brand. I recommend them highly. Cannabiotics. They're pretty top tier. They're always kind of expensive. I would say you're paying about, at least what I'm paying for at the clinic where I work at. I'm paying about around $50 for an eighth, which is 3.5 grams. And that's not even the most expensive things there, but you can get any of them and be sure that you're smoking something good and consistently good. But no, the strain is a sativa strain, Tropicana Heat, and I'm actually a really good fan of this, dude. It smells like cheddar, bro. Like fucking
like cheese.
Yeah, bro. You just fucking, you ever not to turn you off, but in a beautiful way. You know that beautiful musky smell you produce after a long working day, but not no negative musk. No, like a long positive working day. So now you got that positive energy on you. So not your own musk. I don't know. This is my theory. Smells better versus you having had it. So anyway, that musky smell with a cheddary smell with a aromatic leafy smell, this is what it smells like. And honestly, I just appreciate what it smells like. It just me describing it sounds very unappealing, but I like it. I love it, actually. And then for my drinks, I just got myself on the side a pineapple agua fresca, and because I had a taqueria or tortas and It was nice. It's a local place anyway. And my other drink is an alcoholic drink. It's just a shot or two. I honestly just have I just poured what I thought would be a shot into this giant mug, and then I poured a bunch of Sprite, and that's what I'm doing. What you got today?
Well, I'm drinking whiskey. not to oversimplify what you just said, but no, I'm drinking this whiskey. It's called 1835. It's a peach whiskey, and it's really good. It's honestly, it tastes more peach than whiskey.
Wait, the brand or the name of the whiskey is 1835, or what do you mean? The brand itself is called the 1835, or what?
I'm assuming the brand is called 1835. But yeah, it's called 1835. It's pretty good. It's nothing strong. It's 35%.
I mean, that's decently.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
It's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's not heavy,
not
but
to
it's
make me sound
not
like an alcoholic. Say some bullshit it's 60%. It's nothing.
I'm over here getting buzzed off of a Truly or some shit, and you're like, nah, I'm drinking gasoline.
But yeah, it's pretty good. I drink all my drinks with ice. I know people of the whiskey community will be like, "Oh, that's fucking heresy. Blah, 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 blah. You're supposed to drink whiskey."
Nah, fuck
Nah,
that, bro.
yeah.
You can enjoy your drink the way you want it. Fuck everybody's opinions, especially when it comes to the whiskey and ice. I mean, that's controversial right there. Like a lot, I would say like it's almost split because adding the ice changes the whole chemistry, whatever, like flavor profile.
It does.
Whiskey.
Like I like my whiskey with ice, no matter what whiskey I'm drinking. Even if like I'm at a really high fancy fucking restaurant, I'm always gonna add ice. In fact, we're going off a tangent, but I gotta say this.
No, we're not.
So I don't know if you remember our buddy Serrano, which by the way he doesn't listen to these, so it's okay. But
yeah, fuck that guy.
But
just kidding. If you are listening, appreciate you listening.
Yeah. Also, by the way,
no, but fuck you.
You got on social media recently. I don't know,
dude. I honestly was. I saw this guy, and it made me think it was a bot, like because he started following me on like a bunch of different social medias.
Same for me. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I thought, like
it's either that or he is lonely.
Disappeared. But anyways, we were in Seattle, and I guess it was his girl's birthday or some type of party.
No, he was proposing.
I don't remember.
I think it was the engagement party.
But we were there, and we were at that nice restaurant, and
the whiskey.
Yeah, I ordered whiskey, and I didn't know what whiskey they had, so I just said, "Can I get a glass of whiskey?"
Let me get some of that.
So the guy just looks at me and he's like, "Okay." So he leaves, and then he comes back, and he brought me the whiskey back really warm. Like it's almost like if they put this thing in a fucking microwave type warm. Like the glass was super warm, almost hot to the touch.
And maybe you ordered like one of those special fucking, they heat it up, and then
I just said I wanted whiskey. So he brought back like a glass like this, and it was like heated, and I just said like, thanks. Because I was like, I guess this is a thing. So I tried it and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I don't know what that was about, but I had hot whiskey that day, and it made me hate whiskey for the day.
Hot whiskey, that just doesn't sound like I could deal with like room temperature whiskey.
Your room temperature whiskey's fine, but hot whiskey, that shit was nasty. I don't know what I drank, but it was gross. Like, and if you're out there and you're like a whiskey connoisseur and you're probably listening to this and you're like, oh well, you just never had the flim flam jiggity bomb boo boo thingamaling whiskey, which has to be at a hot temperature. Like, fuck you, all right? I like ice in my whiskey.
You gotta twist the cinnamon. You gotta get the bark from the ember forest of the Amazons. You gotta twist that. You gotta get an orange peel. You gotta rim the rim, and then you gotta get the torch, and then you gotta smoky it, and then you gotta blah, 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 blah. Nah,
you
fuck
do
that.
10 jumping jacks outside, facing east.
You have to flip the whiskey bottle 3 times and make it sure it lands straight.
But nah, dude, I don't know what that shit was about, but I will never have hot whiskey in my life.
It just sounds gross.
It was.
I feel like any hot liquor is just not like, unless it's meant for cooking, and then you're cooking with it, then obviously, but not. Yeah. I don't think I want to ingest hot liquor. No, I think I barely even enjoy any hot liquids. Like even coffee.
Sure? No hot liquids, like at all.
No, not at all. No,
like none.
What do you got in mind?
Well, I can segue perfectly into I guess our first topic, which is the unless you wanted to talk about something else first.
No, I was are you speaking about the controversial questions that we're about to ask?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go ahead and tell them about GPT and the near apocalypse that's coming.
You know what else is coming?
Not me. I mean, I am coming.
I was gonna say these questions are coming, but
Let's bring it around town. All right, let's bring it around town. Let's start off somewhere in the middle
Mhm.
and surprise each other.
Okay. You want to go
Yeah.
like back and forth and then ask?
You know what? No,
questions?
actually, I changed my mind.
All right.
I changed my mind. I actually, it's relatably kind of too soon. One of these questions asks, where is it? Like, how important is sexual compatibility to you in a relationship? And honestly, this is what I feel like one of the sexual compatibility in itself was one of the main reasons my last relationship just ended, you know, like just recently, you know. I feel like this question is a perfect one to start off because it hits home.
It is a loaded question, though. I feel it's a loaded question.
In what way?
In a way that it depends, because I mean, I guess maybe just to me, it sounds like, is that the only thing? But maybe that's just for me when asking it.
Well, no, because it's not asking like if it's the only thing. No, it's asking how important is it. So
that.
if you're gonna say it is important, like myself, I would also, like, you would also have to compare it to other things, like compatibility with hobbies, or compatibility with like any other thing, really.
Yeah.
So you compare everything else that you're compatible with, and then you scale like the priorities that each or you yourself have. So like, how important, what would you say is the most important thing, first of all, that you would look for to be compatible with in a person?
That's a tough one. I think enjoyability of being around that person. Maybe I don't know how else to word it. It's like
spending time together.
Well, yes, but also even if you're like not even if you're not like just directly doing something with that person. You know, there's those moments where like you're not interacting with each other, but just being in their presence.
Being content with just the presence of them, like being comfortable with that.
Yeah, I find it's like direct and indirect compatibility within that person's presence. Like, if you're able to be comfortable within that person's presence, if you're doing something directly or indirectly with them, like if you feel fully comfortable and you enjoy that, then I think that's good. That's like a good kicking point.
Would you say that I feel like that's important for me, even in just having friendships and relationships?
Yeah, exactly.
Where you're saying just being able to be around that person. Okay. But how important, though, going back to that first question, how important to you? Like, I guess if you had to scale it, how important is sexual compatibility to you in a relationship? Like, if you just, not saying your current partner, Mariah, you know, not saying that she's awesome, or not saying that she's completely horrible. Like, if she's listening to this, you know, we apologize. Not really, but, you know, love you.
I love you.
Like, if she was like completely horrible, completely, like your first time ever, you know, like you guys are getting to know each other, you guys are dating, and then your first, even your first several sexual interactions are just completely garbage. Would you say that to you personally, would you say that that is enough for you to not have continued with that person?
No, I don't think it would have been the major factor. If you were to ask me this question when I was way younger, I would have probably said yes. But as people change and as time changes, I've come to terms that that's not really the most important thing. Because, I mean, if both people or both parties prioritize that to be on the top, in my opinion, it's just going to be all focused around that. And there will come a time when that sex that happens every day or every single week will stop.
Every day. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to stop. And if you
Right.
prioritize
Like physically.
if you prioritize that to be your top number one thing,
I mean, it doesn't have to stop. Old people have sex too.
But say, for example, that was your number one prioritization when you were looking for a relationship, and now you're not getting it. You're gonna be very unhappy very quickly.
Okay, yeah, I see your point there. Yeah, if that is, if you're prioritizing sex or a physical something first, I can see how that can what you're saying. I can see that.
Yeah,
but not being the top most, but like I feel like it is pretty important because you are, or at least to me, because I feel like it is extremely important. Not the top most, but if let's say it was like completely garbage, like the first few times for me, or I feel like that's a strong word to say, because I've never had garbage sex, like, but think, like, knock on wood, continue to not have any garbage sex. But anyway, if it were to have been like really bad, I think I would be just like, nah, this isn't for me, because I know that's like something that I require. It's something that I like want. It's something that even I myself like do for myself. Like I'm like a sexual person, like I'll be fucking masturbating, or I'll be fucking maybe not, just controlling or just fucking doing whatever, like I just feel like I've come from a spot that wasn't, and now I am. And so like I look for that, and not saying that's like the most important, but I feel like the compatibility to both want the same thing sexually is like super important. Because like, let's say, like, for example, I love giving head, bro. I love receiving it. I love giving it. I am so happy just giving it that I would give it out of my own pleasure,
Oh, so you're a munch.
And I don't know. I've never heard that, actually.
It's a new term these kids are using nowadays.
Really?
Yeah, a munch.
What is that? Just someone that fucking
just someone who does it with,
just a beaver muncher?
No, it's just someone who goes down on a woman without the intent of getting anything in return.
Oh, no, well, that's different, because then you have the intent idea. No, like, nah, fucking sex is happening. I'm just saying, like, like I could give it without fucking getting anything in back. But no, I very much also do love fucking receiving head, oral, and all that. So, and I know that there are women that do enjoy those same things. So, it's, I think, fair to have those, like, wants and to want to experience those things with that other person, and that you'll get older and like sex won't be the same as you get older, but like you can still try to maintain that. Like that's just part of the relationship, It doesn't have to be the main thing, but relationships take work, and you don't ever want to end up. I feel like lack of sex is sometimes the reason why people end up cheating later, and like being together for so long, and that it gets so vanilla or whatever, and then one person or the other, man or the woman or whatever kind of dynamic you're in, I feel like, if it dies completely without there being like communication, I feel like it opens the door to like cheating.
Yeah, I can see that. I wanted to ask, what is your love language?
I think that honestly, I think it's. I don't know if it's like for sure, but I feel like it's changed over time.
Change, yeah.
As I've grown, I feel like my love language has changed from. I used to be okay. Like let's say 18-year-old me was very much. What is the one? Touch was very much like touch. Like all like physicalness, and then like probably like 24-year-old me was more so like acts of service, or something like that. And I feel like now I know that you can have multiple ones at the same time. You know, you just have primarily one that you express yourself in. And I think now I feel like I value more quality time as like my main one, and then like a close second is the touch, and then what is it, like words, and then what's the other one? Acts of service. Yeah, no, like, but I think some of them could I feel like some of these are like are equal to each other, you know. I have them in the same place, but I think number one, if I had to choose, would be quality time that I value the most. Just because dude, sometimes I don't know if you experience it, dude, like especially being with your partner for like a couple years now, like do you have days where you're just like, dude, why is my brain not braining? Like, what do I even talk about today? Like, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just my brain, but I get that a lot, where I'll have for sure days where I can have a bunch of stuff to talk about and just keep on going on rants, but then I'll enter like a phase where I just have like this mental block, and I can't think of anything, and I don't have anything to say to anyone.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of days like that for me where I just don't have anything, especially considering the fact that me and her both work from home. So I mean, we're literally right next.
Yeah,
to each
you
other
guys are always together.
Yeah. But going back to the whole like enjoying the presence of another person thing for me, I think that is what I really enjoy. I like that. I like being next to each other, regardless if we don't even talk to each other. It's like a non-verbal, just showing of affection, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you know what you know what that kind of reminded me of? The moment where like in the movie Avatar, they take their tails and they connect each other. You know, they're not saying it.
Have you seen the Avatar 2?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think?
It was okay. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. You know, it's not gonna be the same as like the first feeling that you got when you saw the first one, but no, it was good. Excuse me.
And the first one came out in 2009.
Yeah, that's freaking a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, wouldn't that be quality time?
Yeah. So that's what I was gonna say, is that mine has also changed. So like how you said, like younger me would have definitely preferred physical touch over anything. But as years went by, I'm starting to more enjoy words of affirmation.
Like, good job.
Yeah, I like that. You know, like how many days has it gone since you've heard someone tell you like, I'm proud of you? You know?
I don't remember the last time.
Exactly. Which, by the way, I am proud of you. Like, you've gone really far.
Thank you. Thank you. I was just thinking about killing myself, but no, now I won't.
I just bought myself like a 7-day subscription for you to not kill yourself.
Dude, and there should be like a rainbow that's like friendship.
No, you know how you buy something like on your phone and it's like, yeah, that's what just happened.
It's like a Black Mirror episode where you like can buy other people more time to live.
It's like that movie with Justin Timberlake where like everyone's
with literally buying more time or stealing it from people, which is such a dystopian thing to even like do. Like, how would you even you would have to like connect your brain, which kind of Elon Musk is already trying to do, but I know that's a whole other thing. But we were talking about cheating, and one of these questions asks about cheating, and I was gonna ask for it, but now I can't find it. But now, what do you think? Pretty much, what do you think? What are your thoughts on like cheating? Have you ever been cheated on?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Like, how old are you?
Fucking 18. and 16 and
Oh, so you've been cheated on several times.
yeah, a couple times in my life.
Okay.
And it's a hurtful thing. And you know what? I think it
The main
started something in me to want to continue that pain. This is long ago. Hang on. It's going to make me sound like a bad person, I understand. But it made me go through this really shitty phase in my life where I wanted to do the same unto other people for them to feel the same pain that I felt. And
so you wanted to break up with other people so that they could feel how you were feeling when you got broken up with?
Yeah, but indirectly.
Okay.
I would make it. This was a really shallow fucking point.
No, I think I know what you're getting at, because I think a lot of dudes or a lot of people do it where they end up making themselves lesser likable, and then they get broken up with because that's what they were trying to do, right?
Yeah, I would. It's manipulative, where you're just manipulating the person into thinking that, oh, it's not you, it's me, or blah blah blah. Like, you should break up with me because I like, and all this and all that, to make it seem like it was their idea all along.
So okay, and so the actual question of the cheating was, do you think it's ever okay to actually cheat, even though that you've been cheated on? Do you feel like you're the people that cheated on, or the people that did it to you, do you feel like they were in the right, or do you feel like it was okay for them to have done so? Or when you have, do you feel like you were like, do you feel like it's like, do you ever feel like it's okay, or like what circumstances would make it acceptable if it is?
No, I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's ever justifiable. Like, you can think of like the biggest excuse ever, but it really all boils down to just your, like, and you can bring up the whole fictional, like, oh, like, what if you had a gun pointed to your head? And
The biggest excuse I can think of is like death, you know? That's, yeah, if someone had a gunpoint, you fuck this other person or they die. So you have to cheat. And that's like that's the ultimate like choice that's not realistic whatsoever. But
yeah. But no, I don't think it's ever justifiable to ever do it. Have I done it in the past? Yes. But I've learned from my mistakes. I know that I'm never going to do that ever again. And yes, people can change.
As Mariah's like listening, like looking at you with the gun point behind your head.
Reading words off the fucking teleprompter.
Blink 3 times if you're okay. Okay. No, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's ever okay either.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I have done it, and I mean, I feel bad for it every single day. Like, I regret ever doing it, but you know, you can't change the past. I am a changed man today. And
now it's starting to sound like you're reading a teleprompter.
But no, I don't know. It's just something that just looms over my head every day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think about it anymore. I mean, I'm 27 now, and the one time I did it, I think I was 17, no, 18 or 19. No, I was like probably 19. And it was with like my first girlfriend at the time, and it was just like the one. I actually ended up, so because I don't think cheating is ever acceptable either, like I actually ended up telling I like confronted her about it, and I was like, look, I can't do this, like I'm a piece of shit, like you deserve way better. And I broke up with her, and she had originally like in that night, that traumatic night, you know, she like was begging me to stay, and I told her like, you know, because she was like, the only way I'm leaving is if you tell me you don't love me. So like, even though I did still love her, like I was just like, this is the only way. So I was like, no, I don't love you, and like obviously it ruins that person. And then yeah, 6 months later we got back together, and then time passed on, and then we got married. But that was always in the back of her head, and I guess it created, you know, a giant hole of resentment.
Is this your ex-wife?
Yeah, and then that created, did I say resentment already? Yeah, it created a whole bunch
Yeah.
of resentment over the years, and she never brought it up, and she just pretty much buried it. And I didn't find this out until like months after the divorce.
Mhm.
She just, yeah, she was honest about it. But it's just crazy because cheating can like literally change someone.
Yeah.
Dude, like it. um but I feel like one of my exes cheated on me. And because I feel like the breakup with that was so sudden, and then my friends, which are also my roommates, ended up telling me, because I got blocked off of social media, they ended up telling me that she posted some dude that was like naked, like on her bed, or like half naked on her bed, and with like the caption or whatever, like onto the next, or some bullshit, right? But I obviously couldn't
Mhm.
see that. But like she had posted that the fucking same weekend that we had broken up. And so like, dude, how do you have a dude already, like you had to have this like on a roster, like,
Yeah.
so like that, like just even that's like, even if you didn't physically cheat, like that's still cheating, like having a roster of some sort, like emotional cheating, social media cheating. Dude, I think there's so many ways you can cheat. I just, none of it's like good, or I don't think any of it's like acceptable.
Mhm.
um but yeah, like I think I can say that because like I have, and I know this, like it's shit, like it's super shit, because I obviously like yeah, the whole situation was shit. But let's move on to the next question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you think that put put partners do you feel like partners, sorry, I said pussy, but do you feel like partners, do you feel like you should have like access to each other's phones and like social media?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm pretty open about like my cell phone use. Me personally, I don't really ever use my cell phone other than just using it for like memes. So I I don't text anyone else. I don't call anyone else other than like my family every now and then.
Right.
So I mean, I really don't care. Like I'll open it and I'll just hand it off to like order
Right.
something or whatever.
So you
Like
get,
I don't care.
so what about like old photos, or like you don't have any, you've deleted everything that's not like you've deleted
In my
everything.
in my current relationship, yeah, no, I don't have anything else.
Hmm.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I think I'm pretty open with it because I have nothing to hide. And maybe, like, yes, it's gonna sound pretty fucked up, but I think like if you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't feel any resentment or guilty about it. Do I think that you should have access to each other's phones 24/7? No. You should have some level of trust. But
Yeah.
should the option ever arise, if you have nothing to hide, fuck it.
Hmm. Have you, do you feel like you've ever had to do that with her, with your current?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. I don't think, I don't, yeah, unless, yeah, every other relationship after my divorce, like literally every relationship pretty much, because that's what led the rest of my life. um she was the only one that like would um be like, oh, let me see your, like, that you would categorize as toxic. But
Wait, your ex-wife
yeah,
or?
yeah, because like no one else like asked to like go through my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that just like a age thing, because obviously that's when we were younger.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't blame her now for it, but like no one around I think no healthy person around my age and up is still doing that shit.
No.
But do you think, I've never been in one, I don't think I can be in one, because I feel like I would be jealous. But an open relationship, like
No.
polyamory, like,
No.
no, you don't think you'd ever be in a,
No.
what is it for you? Like, for me, it's the jealousy part.
Jealousy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the jealousy part. Like I feel like, in my opinion, it can never really fully 100% work. Even if there's like a slim chance of like doubt, for one person loving another person just a little bit more, it's already not working. And I feel that every polyamorous relationship that I've ever seen never work out. Maybe there are some. I'm pretty sure there is. But to me personally, I could never be in one. I don't think they work. I don't think it could ever work for me.
Like they,
And
yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like they may work for a little bit, or for obviously a time being. I don't think they're a permanent. I've personally not seen something last more than like 2 years.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? There was one chick from high school that I knew that is now, or what I thought was, in a like polyamorous relationship. And then when I found that out, I was like, oh, I'll hit her up. And then, dude, this is when I got COVID in the army, and so I had nothing to do. I had nothing but my phone. I was like pretty much.
Shit, I remember this.
I was pretty much in prison. Like, getting COVID in the army while we were in the army was pretty much, they're gonna stick you in a fucking condemned, disgusting barracks. Anyway, all I had was my phone. Literally, I like, they took everything. So all I had was my phone, and dude, the thirst came in, bro. And so I just started hitting her up, and then
the hunger.
Yeah. And then soon after, the fucking dude proposes. Like, and so they got married. And so I feel like low key, like, she brought this up with him and was like, and the dude felt some sort of way. Because I don't know, I'm guessing he may have, like, I don't know, saw me, and then he's like, no, I don't want that Jesus donkey dick inside my girl. And then I don't know, propose, and then and then we just never talked after that. It's crazy.
I think that polyamory, in my opinion, always starts with one person who gets the idea, and it's never both parties that start off agreeing automatically. It's always one person in the relationship that brings up the idea and then keeps poking at it until they pretty much gaslight the other person into agreeing into it, and then it just doesn't work. Like, I don't want to bring up names, but we used to have an NCO way
no,
way
fuck
back.
it, dude, just bring it up.
No, we're gonna keep some type of secrecy. If you know which NCO I'm talking about.
What about him?
Or
her?
Well,
him or her?
Him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that relationship didn't work out. They got divorced.
Oh,
and yeah, they did. Yeah.
Wait, the small one and the chili pepper.
Yeah.
Damn. Huh, that explains why that explains why I see that explains why I saw her randomly show up on my social media again, because I was like, oh shit, I follow this person. Because they posted, that's what happens when girls break up or whatever. They'll fucking post a current picture of themselves, and it flushes the fucking feed because she hasn't posted in fucking forever, so like it's dormant. And so when those accounts finally post something, it goes across everybody. And so that's probably why I saw her fucking, I was like, what the fuck? Damn, they couldn't make it.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, I really don't want to talk about like another dude's relationship, like especially in a bad way. But like, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure it started off as her idea, and then he just went along with it because he had no choice, because he wanted to keep her happy. And then it just didn't end up working at all. And now look what happened.
Oh, you're talking about him.
Yeah.
Bro.
Who are you? Well, no, don't bring him in. We'll talk about it after. But
yeah, polyamory, especially in the military, dude. Polyamory shit, dude. That shit does not work, and you just,
it does not.
You're a cuck if you end up doing it, and it just doesn't ever go your way. Like abortion, it never goes the baby's way. What are your thoughts on abortion?
What the fuck? How the fuck did we get into this conversation?
It's the next question.
Such a weird way to fucking segue into it.
You don't talk about the segue.
This is so stupid the way you worded it. Like, yeah, speaking of things not going a certain way, abortion, right? Damn it.
I'm sorry.
What was the question? God.
What are like? Do you believe that you people should like?
You people.
Like, do you think abortions should be a thing? And like, if they like, how do you think they affect a relationship?
It depends. I mean, if both people agree on it, then it can work out, and I feel like the decision would bring the relationship closer, if anything.
So you're kind of like me. Like, you're definitely like you should like you're pro for having abortions, because some people are like, no, you can't have abortions, you know, like you can't, like you shouldn't have abortions, period. Like, I think you should be able to have abortions. And yeah, I agree with you too. Like, abort that bitch if like both of you guys agree. Control Alt Delete and just fetus delete us, you know, just there we go.
No, I feel like the decision ultimately belongs to both parties, and if both of them agree, I feel like it'll bring them closer.
Would you be extremely I would say, would you be upset if you wanted a baby and the person got pregnant and the person aborted it and didn't tell you, and then you found out?
I'd be highly upset. I would, for not letting me know. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I guess it would have been my child, but it's not my body that has to go through the process.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to put someone through that pain if they don't want to. But that brings it to another thing that I totally agree on. If a woman has the power to say no to a pregnancy, to have a child,
Mm-hmm.
and the father did, then that father should also have the same power to not have to pay child support if he didn't want it, but the woman did.
See, I agree with that. But then I also can't understand where the argument for that is, but he still knew the consequence of, you know, raw dogging or coming inside the bitch, and then and the end result was getting a pregnancy. It's like the counter argument is still like, you're smart enough to know that this would happen, and so like regardless of whether or not you don't want it, you have to pay up. But I think it's fucked up that it's an easier thing to say you don't want it and just get rid of it for being a chick, because you obviously, as a dude, you don't grow a baby. But
yeah.
Well, we got that over with. Honestly, religion, finances, I think, are like huge things that play into relationships.
Yeah.
Like, for me personally, I think finances don't get in the way of the relationship until you probably have like a house together and now you got something ginormous in both your names. Like, I don't think finances should be like an argument during like a quote unquote normal relationship. Like, you shouldn't argue about like how much are you making, or you shouldn't be like, why aren't you making this much, unless you're already planning to do like make a big move, you know. What are your thoughts on like finances, on like in having to do with like a relationship? Do you feel like finances should be interconnected from the start, or do you feel like they shouldn't?
I think there should be, I guess, like a certain point within the relationship where both parties can come together, because at that point, like, okay, you just met this girl, you just started dating her, you're still technically strangers to each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, you wouldn't go up to a stranger and be like, hey, want to share money? Like, you wouldn't do that.
No.
Okay, no. Realistically, think about it. Realistically.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't do that. So I don't think that you just start a relationship. Okay, let's put our funds together for everything. No, but I think there is a point, and no one really knows this point. It just kind of clicks. Like you just both understand. Like, okay, we have reached that point, and it's time to start thinking about, the big old dollar sign. Like we got to think about this. We got to think like, okay, where we're gonna live. What are we gonna do?
Do you feel like at that point when you're trying to make such a big decision and the other person isn't in mutual agreement with you, do you feel like that's big enough to reach a breakup point?
It can be, yeah. I mean, for me, if like it's 100% and 0%,
yeah,
like as in like one person's giving a hundo and one person is giving 0, then I mean that's not worth it. But it also, I will also have to put in a little pin in here.
a little asterisk disclaimer.
Yeah, if one party is giving 100% in terms of finances and the other person is giving 0, but is supporting in other ways such as caretaking and all this other stuff, and both parties agree on that, then that's fine. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like if, say for example, a woman is making all the money in the relationship, and then you have the house husband who doesn't have a job. Yeah, we're reversing roles here. And and you have the house husband who doesn't have a job, but he takes care of the house. He does all the chores, all the meals are prepped and everything like that, takes care of the kids. And both parties are okay with that. Why not? Fuck it. I feel like there shouldn't have to be, but as long as both parties agree that not both parties have to support in finances.
That makes sense. And it reminds me, because you looked at me at a certain way, because like usually no strangers will agree to for money and stuff, but it reminds me of the one time, and it's leading to the next question. How soon do you think it's soon enough to move in with someone? Because for me, if you're struggling enough, you'll ask someone that you just went on the first date off of Tinder with if they want to make an extra $500 a month, and then you move in with them for a few months while you're going through your divorce, and then in the process of doing so, you like end up dating them for a little bit. But anyway, that happened. So like for me, it's like a survival thing on top. Or sorry, like also like an and/or type of thing. I have no shame in moving in with another person, but for relationship wise, I think probably around like 1 to 2 years now, in a serious relationship, around there, I think is a good time to like start asking the questions about like moving in. Yeah, because I mean I'm not fucking 18 anymore. I'm not like building, like I'm already 27. Like I'm for sure wanting to make these big moves already. And if I'm in a relationship, I would want this person to be making those big moves with me. And that includes a house. And if I'm in the relationship and if we love each other enough, hopefully we can do this bitch together. And it's it's worth asking those questions about. It doesn't necessarily mean like that's what's going to happen, but I feel like it warrants those questions around that time. I feel like, and that's just me personally. Some people feel like they got to go through years, but there's also people that fucking get married within weeks. So
yeah,
yeah. What do you think about how close? Soon? Yeah, how soon?
I think within the 6 to 12 month mark.
6 to 12 month?
Yeah. Okay. So that may sound soon, but you also got to consider
because you looked at me, looked like it was too soon.
No, I agree, dude. Okay. Like the housing economy is terrible. Like go on Zillow.com right now and find me a house in California for less than $500K with 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and a nice fucking yard over 1,700 square feet. I challenge you to find that. You won't. You will not. It will already have a crackhead named Dave in there fucking shooting up like heroin and shit. He has 3 jobs and he's still somehow homeless. Panhandling is just a hobby.
Damn. So
Like,
3 to 6 months.
no, 6 to 12.
6 to 12 months
I mean, I feel like
of a
3 to 6.
serious relationship.
Yeah, of a serious relationship.
How
If
serious?
it's, I'd say like pretty good, relationship. Like you've already met their parents, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like not like formally, but like, hey, we're having a carne asada and my dad's
Yeah.
on the grill, type of shit. Like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, like that type of relationship,
Yeah.
And you got to talk to her uncle and aunt, and
Yeah.
like was able to talk to her dad, but it's that awkward conversation because like you are dating his daughter, so he doesn't really like you, but it like, he's got to talk to you because his wife or your mother-in-law said so, and now you're both talking to each other. That type of relationship.
Mm.
I know that may sound too specific, and that probably hit someone close to home hearing this, but yeah.
All right. All right. We got 2 more questions before we end while we're nearing the end of today's episode, and I think these 2 questions are like pretty important. And I always don't know. I mean, I usually try not to unless I'm asked nowadays about disclosing information. But how do you feel like it's necessary to disclose all past relationships and like sexual experiences to a partner, like a current partner?
I don't think it matters. To me, at least. I don't care. Like, it's not like it's
not necessary.
It's not the first thing on it's not the first thing on my mind. Like, I feel like this is also an age thing. Like, as you get older, you just don't give a fuck. Like, when you're 18, you have probably been in, on average, maybe 2-3 relationships.
Damn.
On average.
I had 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 to 3 relationships.
Yeah, you get it.
But yeah, you get what I mean. And when you're younger, you're like, oh, like, how many people has this person been with? Or like, how are they? But as you get older, you're
just like, I don't fucking care, bro. Like, you still want sex?
Like,
all right.
Like, when you're younger, you're like asking questions. So like, what's your favorite color? Like, oh, like, what do you like to do? Like, nah, dude, once you get closer to 30, you're like, do you have a 401k? Do you have a stable job? Like, how many pets do you have? And are you able to have a viable income in order to support them?
And then how much liquid cash do you have set for vacations? Because are you taking care of your mental health?
Like, a big one's like, what's your credit score right now? Like, if anything below like a fucking 650, like, I mean, we can make it work. We could probably adjust your numbers if we do this fucking microinflation within this credit time. And like, that's what matters more once you get older, dude. Like, but again, me personally, I could really give a fuck less. Like,
and you're still young. Like, you're not that old. You're not old at all. Actually, you're probably like a quarter of your life through, if anything.
Yeah, but like, I could really give a fuck less, to be honest. Like, I really don't care.
I think I don't think it's necessary. I think it's cool information to know and come across as you come across it. I also don't think it's necessary. But like, if at one point throughout your life you were like a drug dealing / sex worker, like, I want to know about that. Just, like, I want to know what I'm getting myself into. I want to know. I want to know the possibilities of that, regardless. And like, that will lead me to like, well, how are you as a person? I just want to know that. But like, it's not a necessary thing to disclose everything right away, especially
if it's like really important things, like that you're skimming over, like you're on your first date, and they're just talking about like, oh yeah, like, I once lived in fucking Minnesota. I traveled the eastern side of the seaboard. I once had sex with 6 midgets in a circus.
Would you care about that one?
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. What? And they'd be like, oh yeah, like, I traveled the eastern seaboard. And I'm like, no, not that one.
No, the last thing you said, midgets. Oh yeah, what about the midgets? No, like, you haven't.
Also, by the way, I've just realized I said the word midget, and well, some people might hate that, and it's an offensive word.
Small people.
I'm sorry. Yeah, small people. Small. I'm correcting myself, right.
And our final question for tonight's episode, or whatever time you're listening through, what are your thoughts on marriage? Since you're not old, but I feel like you still have some cool like you're a mix of current and traditional traits. Do you think marriage is a like? What are your thoughts on it? Is it outdated or is it meaningful?
Mm, this one's really iffy with me because on one big hand, I really, excuse me, I could really care less about marriage nowadays. I see it more as just like a now. I see it more as just like an official way of saying that I'm promising you.
Hmm.
That's it. Like I'm promising you
And getting
my
the
life.
government involved.
Yeah,
But there's also so many benefits and stuff.
sure. I mean, in the state of Texas, all you have to do is just say, "Yeah, we're married," and by law, that counts. If
Oh,
you
really?
didn't know, now you know. Yeah, in Texas, all you have to do is just say, "Yeah, we're married," and that's good enough. And then you could just go get your marriage license.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. You don't have to have anything. Just say you're married. Bada bing, bada boom.
Well,
There you
that's
go.
convenient.
And I mean, I think that's really cool because like you don't have to make a big deal out of it. I mean, I guess that's going into the whole like eloping thing,
Hmm.
but like I don't know. I feel like I don't have to make it a big deal to show my love to a person when I can show them my love every single day for the rest of my life. And if you want to make it official, I'm down for it.
Mhm.
But do I personally think that a marriage is important or like a wedding? Not marriage, but like a wedding? No.
Hmm.
Um I think the promise itself, as in I promise you my life and I promise you that I will be with you
Yeah.
and only you, is not good enough. But if it comes to it where you need it, I'm down for it. I could do either one.
Because I feel like you can also have a sentimental marriage, you know? Because, like, let's say all else goes to shit, you know? But then you meet someone and then you're forever and you're just, you know, you call him your wife or your husband. Like, there's no institution. I feel like, like people focus too much on, like, the official, you know, paperwork and all that and, like, forget about, like, the meaning behind it. I think, like, meaning to quote unquote like marry someone and choose to be with them for the rest of your life, I think that whole message is like so dear and special, and like I still believe in that. I don't think that's outdated, but I do think the whole like institution part of it is outdated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it is a little outdated. And a lot of boomers hate that. Like, oh, these damn fucking millennials, they're getting rid of marriages.
Too many people getting divorced. Well, the number one leading thing for divorce is marriage.
Yeah, marriage, yeah. And also, I don't know if you read like, oh, like these damn millennials are not having kids. Yeah, no shit. I mean, kids are expensive, dude. Like, why would they? Why would I bring?
It's selfish to
I can't
bring.
even afford a house.
Oh yeah, bringing kids into this world right now, selfish. Like you probably don't even have enough money, and then what are you gonna do? Try to ask the state and the government for more money? Like that's
like I don't even know how much a kid costs
a
nowadays.
lot.
Like that, like isn't that such a crazy thing?
Can you imagine spending $1,000 a week on daycare?
Fuck no. I can barely imagine spending $1,000 a month on fucking rent.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
like 1,000 is a big number.
No, yeah.
Like, I remember when I was a little kid.
Baby take carers, baby carers. Oh my god, I'm blanking out that word. Wow. Babysitters. Their prices have been inflated.
You know, we never even talked about Sky Mommy. Well, we did, but very briefly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Sky Mommy.
Did you want to keep going, or you want to end?
No, I mean, yeah, real quick, Sky Mommy. So the U.S. Pentagon, actually, if you guys haven't heard, said that there's in a report, pretty much said that there's a report, or in the report said that there's a possible space mothership that's dropping drones or smaller UFOs onto the Earth, and so now they think, wow, somewhere in our solar system there's a space mommy, and that's how we're getting UFOs onto Earth. I think it's ridiculous. I think honestly it's information given out at a worse or just it's a misdirection type of thing, you know. It's just information, it's put out there all of a sudden, so suddenly and so weird, like it's a distraction for sure from other political agenda stuff I'm not going to get into right now. But yeah, that pretty much sums up or is this episode. If you guys have made it this far, yeah, as always, thank you for listening or watching or both. Honestly, there's people that do both. I love you.
Yeah. Also, speaking of love, isn't it weird how we were talking about this before the podcast started, on how guys will compliment other guys like a lot more meaningfully?
Yeah.
Versus how women compliment men.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
And is this a stigma thing? I guess I mean, are we gonna say like all women are fucking like this? No, but for most women, I guess in our lives, like, well, in like your life, like, how do you feel?
I feel like women should compliment more. I feel like not enough women compliment men, or just in general, men aren't complimented enough. And you're hearing this message from two men who believe that. So if you're a woman that never compliments,
not enough to say that a man is handsome. You have to say, my dearest love, from the depths of my heart, I profess my love for you in the most profound and beautiful way. I would cross the fiery pits of hell and climb the highest peaks of the heavens to show you just how much I adore you. My love for you is as vast as the starry night sky above us, shining bright and never-ending. Your beauty and grace are like the stars, so enchanting that they leave me in awe each time I gaze upon them. You are the light that illuminates my life. Without you, my world would be a dark and lonely place. I vow to cherish and love you till the end of time, and even beyond. For my love for you is eternal, bro.
Was that a poem made by GPT-4?
Yes, it was.
Technology. That was beautiful, honestly.
Yeah, it's really great.
So you guys can sit on that, and hopefully you're a little bit wiser, and hopefully we shed a tear. You know, this was actually a different episode. Just a jerker in general.
Yeah, just a regular jerker if you're into that.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good night. Thank you guys all. Oh, thank you everyone, because dude's a neutral term. We gotta remember, motherfuckers. Dude is neutral. Everybody.
Dude is a neutral term.
Yeah, everybody is a dude.
Everyone's a dude.
Yeah. So, stay tuned for next week, next episode. All right. Bye.
I love you.
Oh, I love you more.
I love you most.
I think you're gorgeous.
I think you're amazing.
I think the hat complements your skin tone.
Thank you. Yeah. It does.
Yeah. Also, nice mustache.
Thank you. I've been working on it.
You see how easy that is, people? You can do it too. Good night.
We're going to bone each other later.